What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to the lounge, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for everything. In case you did not know, I'm going to start uploading at night. Most of my content will be anywhere from 10 to 11, but most of the time I'm going to do it at 10 o'clock. Only because there's just way too much traffic with content creators throughout the day. So I made the decision to start posting late at night. We have a lot of queens on blogging that do conduct a lot of their streams throughout the day, and it makes it very difficult for small content creators such as myself to be able to push through the algorithms. So I made the decision to where I'm gonna just start posting at nighttime. That way it's better chance of me getting better promotion with my channel. So I'm not knocking the queens on blogging. I just know I have to do my channel, I have to conduct it differently in order to make sure my channel get the growth that it needs. So anyway, make sure y'all hit that like button. I appreciate all y'all that are here tonight. My Mod Squad, my Mocha Minions, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being so supportive. So, let's get into this, right? I wanted to talk about the botched beauty culture. I don't know what's going on with with black women today, in which we are totally transitioning. And I don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with a woman wanting to change her hair color. Maybe she wants to change her diet, eat better. Maybe, she wants to get a little surgery done, tone up some areas, you know what I mean? I don't have an issue with the woman wanting to better herself, but I feel like with Nene, there's way more psychologically going on with her that a lot of people aren't addressing. Okay? There's a lot going on with this woman, right? And I personally believe Nene is having a mild mental breakdown, okay? Nene has gone through a lot. First off, with being dropped when Bravo divorced her, okay? That definitely brought a drastic change to her career. You have to realize that's who brought Nene the success and the fame and the popularity. It all started from Bravo. But I noticed before she realized how highly liked she was a little bit more humble. When the season first originally started off, she was married to Greg. She was friends with Kim. And she's always had that witty, snappy thing about her. But she kept it to a minimum. But as she started increasing, as her fan base started increasing, so did her ego. And so did her attitude, right? And what ended up happening was Nene just really got beside herself. She really did. She started getting into it with every cast member. I mean, she fell out with Cynthia, fell out with Phaedra, fell out with Kenya, fell out with Portia. Anytime she felt any of those ladies was getting some type of shine, she would make it her business to dim their light, with her insults. And don't get me wrong, I love a good roaster. I love people who like to roast, who like to, throw the dozens. I like a little bit of roasting and snapping every once in a while. But with Nene, her roast became insults. When it gets to a point to where, like, she went to talking about Claudia Jordan's vagina, lady purse. When you start taking it to that level, it's definitely, it warrants, it makes your character look unpleasant. I've seen Nene get out of hand multiple times. And I think what happened was sometimes the main thing that makes you like these reality stars is the same thing that you end up hating them for in the long run. You know, everybody loves the smart mouth snappy, but the problem is when you don't know when to tone it down, you don't know that it is getting out of hand. You went from, like I said, joking to now you going for the juggler. You know, you're laughing at women who can't conceive children and all of this and that. Nene has really done a lot, and I think a lot of her fans have forgotten that. You have a lot of her fans that get mad, get offended when you do content about her, or you're in the comment section, you know, and you're not co-signing with, yes, Nene is that it girl and this and that or whatever. People get in their feelings, but people who have been real fans of the franchise, Housewives of Atlanta, we've seen Nene really start displaying her true colors once fame got the best of her, right? So it hasn't been her winning season. You know, she got dropped from Bravo because she started thinking she was bigger than Bravo. She didn't think she had to humble herself from the people who built her career. Okay, same thing with Diddy. When Diddy tried to go for the juggler and get greedy with Ciroc, the company who made him, the company who did give him the privilege as a black man to sit to their table, no, Diddy wanted to take over the whole goddamn table and push all of the high echelons, the top tier, you know what I mean, business bosses. He started trying to be bigger than them, and it's no coincidence they had to shut them down, because how all of a sudden the Cassie tape came out, you know, when he decided he wanted to sue Ciroc for not promoting his product. Some people get beside themselves when they get an opportunity and they get a blessing. They forgot who brought them there. They forgot who's keeping them there. That's what happened with Nene. And the thing about the black community, we are so used to being oppressed. We are so used to being counted out that when somebody does finally give us that opportunity to where we can shine a little bit more, we don't know what to do with that shine. No, instead of us learning how to use that shine, we start showing our behind. You get what I'm saying? So that's what basically started happening. So Bravo had to counsel her. I totally believe she started giving the executives, everyone within Bravo that has something to do with her notoriety, I believe she just started giving them a hard time. Because the way she was doing the women on the show that was her friends, I could only imagine, you know, what she was saying to them. Well, I am the one who made this show, okay? People are only watching it because of me. I mean, we can't, there's no way I cannot picture Nene not showing her ass. And not to the point, her own family don't even deal with her. Okay, Nene's sisters, Nene family, you rarely ever hear them talk about them. And the one time her sister did do an interview, she basically stated how Nene got beside herself. How Nene really didn't want nothing to do with family. When she had her husband Greg, and when she had her fame, she basically threw her family on the shelf. Like, I'm good, I don't need y'all, I got my husband, I got my fame, I got my money, the hell with y'all, right? So, and the sister ended up stating another reason she didn't want to have much of nothing to do with her family was because her family would not co-sign on the fact that she was involved with Greg, who was a married man. So they did not show up to their wedding off the strength of that. But Nene's not going to say that, right? They was not for Nene marrying somebody else's husband. And a lot of y'all keep forgetting that. Y'all keep forgetting that Greg Leakes was a married man. Married. 10 years married, okay? Had children, grown children married, okay? And again, this is swept up under the rug because Nene kept deflecting, kept saying I had nothing to do with that. Greg made that decision. And one thing about Nene, she's not going to own her wrongdoing. She never has, never will, and that's just her character, right? So, between Bravo, then things started really turning for the worse when Greg passed. I cannot hold her accountable for that. That was a decision that God made. But I will say this. I will say that before the ink was dried on that death certificate, Nene was already stepping out with Naomi, her African bae. But of course, these Nene stands are going to try to defend and deflect, okay? I call it life-flecting, okay? Lying and deflecting at the same time. Well, Greg said he wanted me to move on and be happy. I mean, not before the ink got dry on her off the death certificate. You know, she stepped out in no time, right? And it didn't make her look good. Not so much the fact that she moved on so quickly, but the fact that when Greg was at his worst, she was in the club. She was at her bar. She didn't want to. She couldn't stand to deal with Greg's sickness anymore. She got tired of him being sick. She got tired and grew weary of having to be there for him. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. That's how I feel. I think she was tired of Greg's sickness. I think as long as Greg was alive and well and was able to do for her and take care of her, she was okay with that. But when the tables turned and Greg became ill, I think she got frustrated with having to care for him, you know. And that played a part in her not really being there as much as she could have. Not to mention the fact that she agreed to put that on the show. And personally, that was something that I felt they should have kept off the camera. And poor Greg, because Greg always went along with what made Nene happy, he agreed to the filming. But I really feel like that was a moment that him and her should have had together. But the show became a part of her life, and I think she started worshiping Bravo more than life itself. And that's why you got to be careful with what you worship, because the very thing you worship is the very thing that ends up destroying you. I believe Nene fell more in love with her fame and her success than she did that marriage. That's just my humble opinion. By the way, anything I say in this content is based off of my own opinion. Nothing I say is actual factual. This is my disclaimer. This is for entertainment purposes only. Just share my opinion. That's basically it. So, I think a part of her was sad, but I think a bigger part of her was relieved when Greg went on. I believe she got tired of keeping up with him, got tired of helping him fight through it. However, she did end up eventually, especially once things didn't work out with that African bae. She did say a couple of weeks ago with Essence magazine that she misses Greg, and she realized that Greg was the best thing that ever happened to her. And we know a lot of that has to do with the fact that you realize that the men out here are much different. They not moving like Greg was moving. Greg was humble to you. Greg would kiss your dirty drawers. Greg worshiped the ground you walked on. And these men aren't like men was back then. Men like Greg back then was very catering, very loving. These men today think that they are the prize, right? So while Nene was all over strutting Naomi, and we'll go down memory lane on that. Matter of fact, let's go down memory lane. When let me come out of here. When Nene was really strutting her stuff with Naomi, or exposed, Naomi, dealing with side chicks, which are succubuses, a lot. Okay, let's go into that, right? So, just to kind of go down memory lane. Okay, and I'm not going to put
election alert. Election day is on November.
So I can keep the copyright to a minimum. But just to kind of bring a reminder back, you know, how Nene was so into herself and into her new African bae, that she really didn't care how people was looking at her sideways. Like, Nene, really, girl, I mean, your husband ain't been in the ground a good 2 minutes. But, you know, of course, she had some of her fans caping for her. Like, she deserves to move on. She deserves to be happy. I'm like, yeah, but damn, not so quick.
I cry.
What is it, babe?
I cry.
And let's face it, Naomi was just as camera struck as she was, okay? He knew exactly what he was doing. It was all about him getting his own little clout. Okay. What's I here?
I cry, Ghana.
And she stayed gone, right? Nene was never home. Nene basically left her children's side, not taking into consideration they was most likely going through changes too, with Greg being gone. You know, she just got into the I'm doing me. I'm gonna do me and have a good time. You know, not understanding her sons, they were healing too. You know, they were also going through changes and grieving, because Greg was a father to Bryce and, you know, the son they had together. And I just think she was so asphyxiated on getting past the pain herself that she pretty much left her children in the dust. You know what I mean? She didn't see about them grieving. She didn't see about, you know, what they were mentally going through. I just think she just became more so fixated on her own self-healing. But yes, this was her and her African bae, who was also married. So as much as Nene wants to talk about keep your legs closed to married men, well, she damn sure didn't twice. Because Greg Leakes was a married man, and so was Naomi. Alright? And this is where she ends up basically admitting that this fairy tale relationship that she was trying to put on to us, it was not a fairy tale. So check this out. Okay, it's not playing on this, but I wanted to play. I'm gonna see if I can find it here, y'all. Because I want y'all to hear when she talks about dating a narcissist. When she slowly admits, well, she actually admits that it wasn't so peachy and keen like she pretended. Which all of us who are woke, we knew that it was none of what she was trying to make it out to be. But let's play.
They're the total devil.
This is how I feel. Like, I was in a very long relationship. I'm really used to being in relationships. Honestly, I am. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when I've been single. If I've been single for, it was 5 minutes, and then I was on to the next relationship. And that's a problem within myself that I need to work on, okay? And I am aware of that. I hopped into this relationship extremely early. We were having a great time. And I know the times are always not great. And sometimes they change. He's such an asshole. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to deal with somebody that's an asshole. And I don't even want to deal with problems. I just want to have fun.
If you could pay attention to his body language, he was basically laughing at her. He was basically just incompetent to her feelings. Check this out.
What you drink again? Just stop it, baby.
What the fuck you mean what I drink?
Stop. Just stop.
What did I drink, Yanni? It's fucking 4:21 p.m.
We had a couple of drinks at Houston, so stop.
Oh, we went to Houston?
When you drink, yes, we just left Houston. When you go, when you drink, then you get on the Eastern Grill, you make all kinds of fanatic. Just stop.
This man is out of control. I just.
If you do it,
how many drinks did you have, Yanni?
How many what?
Drinks that you have?
I have 2 glasses of wine. That's all.
That's it.
Get my point. Nene has to be in the cameras, okay? She has to be in the cameras, and I believe, even though this is old, right? Because they're not together anymore. I believe because Nene is very boisterous. This we know. Nene will speak her mind. Nene cannot hold water, okay? she will let you know how she feel, right? I believe she voiced her issues to him in her own nasty, rude, direct way that we've known her to do. And what he did, like a lot of men usually do, he was tuning her ass out. He was not caring nothing about how she felt. So this is why, y'all, she had to come on camera. This was her way of letting him know, but using her audience as a means to expressing to him what he would not allow her to express had it just been the both of them. First of all, what Nene did not realize is Naomi is African. Them African men, they're automatically dominant by nature. They're very aggressive, and they just don't believe in allowing women to have too much of a say. Women are second-hand citizens when it comes to some of these countries, in which they still have that 1962 mentality that women are to be seen but not heard. You got cultures in which the woman is supposed to cater to the man, take care of him, see about his needs, and make him happy. Nene thought she picked up a man who she felt she could make him be what she wanted him to be, and most importantly, she went on what Naomi looked like. She wanted a man that would make her look like a prize. She wanted a man that would match her fly. Even though Naomi dresses well and he's not a bad-looking man, the problem is underneath all of that, he was a narcissist. But this is what happens when you're thirsty and you don't want to deal with your grieving because you're so used to being married. You're not used to having to be by yourself. So you grabbed another body just to avoid having to feel the funk and the grieving of no longer having Greg in your life. Not understanding that she was still healing at this time. And you're still fragile when you're in grieving, okay? So anything that Naomi said or did was going to only make things worse because she still had not completely healed. So that was her point of getting on camera because, for one, Nene likes to be seen. And for two, Nene's not good at expressing herself in a way that does not sound offensive to the person she's expressing herself to. So all of these were red flags that this relationship was bound to crash and burn. But I'll digress. Let's play the rest.
I just can't handle these issues. I just don't want the issues. Yes, I understand it takes two people, and I know that it takes people to work through issues. I've been in a long relationship.
He's laughing at her. You did not take your time and get to know this man. You went after this man only because of how he looked. And the fact that he's not concerned enough to communicate with you, you had to bring the audience in. All of this was bound to not work out. I mean, like, come on, really.
So I understand the give and take of a relationship, but this
Alright, you done with your video, baby? Huh? You done with your video? Alright, cut that video. I'm gonna do a better video. Okay, that makes sense. Because your video ain't making no sense.
this is a problem.
Alright, cut the video up, please.
So the kind of man that I would be looking for is a man that is emotionally available.
Fair use.
I need somebody that's emotionally available for me. I need somebody that supports me. I need somebody that is my equal. And I'm just being honest. I think I prefer to date men that are probably 10 years younger than me. And I say that because I want a man that is fun. I want a man that likes to travel. I want a man that want to do stuff. And not that a man 50 isn't young, but I find that a lot of men that's in their late 40s and 50s, they're grouchy. They obviously show up as one person, and then later on you learn they're super grouchy. They don't want to do anything. I I don't know. I just prefer somebody younger than me. I'm young in spirit. I'm young and my body is young. My hair is young, honey. My skin is young, honey. And I do everything to stay looking very beautiful and youthful. So I want a man that, is just really going to be here for me and support me in every way. And I don't want to be the sole breadwinner. I do not want to be the sole breadwinner. So if any of you guys over there looking like, I think I want to talk to Nene, if you're not bringing your own money to the table, please do not step over here. I have dealt with...
For her to really stress, she don't want to be the sole provider. That, I don't know if you ladies didn't catch that, but that lets me know she was paying for the majority of everything in that relationship with her and Naomi. Listen, just because a man has money, it does not mean he won't sit on his money and make you spend yours. Again, all of this comes from being lonely. I would not be surprised if she sponsored most of the trips, all that flying back and forth to Africa and all that. I guarantee you, because she ran after Naomi. And this is what happens when you choose a man versus letting that man choose you. You end up doing all the chasing. So for her to stress that, better believe she was coming out of her pocket. More than Naomi was.
Enough stress in my life. I want to deal with somebody that's really a good person. But yeah, I want to just warn you women out there too. And you don't have to be 50. The narcissists there, this started in their childhood. So narcissists are at every age level and they're very damaging people. And I just want you to know that relationships are crazy. So enjoyed having pillow talk with you guys. We got to do this more often.
So basically, that little rendezvous, if that's what you want to call it, it gave her a reality check, a harsh reality check. That every man out there is not Greg, okay? Every man ain't gonna be out there caping for you, pulling out the red carpet for you. And I think that was a culture shock. You gotta realize she's been with Greg for many, many years. A man that she's used to catering to her. A man that she's used to seeing about her. A man whom she didn't have to chase to get him to do what she needed him to do. These new ninjas is out here on something different, honey. And she found that out the hard way. But, y'all, let's go into this new Barbie bleached look, y'all. Check this out. I'm going to turn the music down, y'all. Because it's too much going on. If this is not overly done, Nene looks absolutely nothing but like herself. I mean, I'm just starting to really feel like Nene has been self-hating herself for years. So all those years on the show, she's been clowning the other women, talking about Sheree's nose, talking about Kenya's looks, all that whole time. She was envious of those women because she's looking like Portia. Almost. She looks absolutely nothing like herself. And for you women to be supporting this delusion, oh, Nene looks good, Nene looks great. No, she does not. I can support somebody who looks good and looks great, who naturally put in the work to get it done. Dieting, exercising, things of that nature. But when you have the money and you're getting all of this surgery, I can't really authentically give you your props because you did not put in the work. You put in the money. Anybody who has money can get work done, but it takes a lot of effort to diet, to change your habits, to eat better, to really take care of yourself. Y'all may not want to face the reality, but I'm looking at it like Nene is definitely crashing out. She's crashing out. I think she's getting a harsh reality that no matter how much you change up your looks, no matter how much surgery you get done to your body, you still can't make these ninjas out here treat you any better. Yes, you done got your nose done. Yes, you done got your skin lighter. Yes, you're wearing blonde wigs. But these men still aren't checking for you like that. And if they are, they checking for you to be known with you, to be famous with you, or basically just to lay up with you. Now, she said earlier she would rather a younger man than men her age. Y'all remember that episode when she lost it on Portia? When Portia said she didn't care to be with old men? And how Nene lost it because at that time Greg was living, and Greg, was an older man. Now, here it is, because you botched and bleached now, you want somebody younger. And you're going to find out these young dudes, they are worse. Okay? Ask Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives, who just married a young Thundercat. These young men aren't any better. Because what Nene's not understanding is, even though she's getting all of this work done to her outside attributes, the main work needs to be done internally. That's the part she's not getting. That's the part that she has yet to not register. Now, this was the old Nene. Okay? And I'm not going to play, This the old Nene. This just goes to show all that time Nene was not happy with herself. And like I said, it's one thing to change a few things. This woman has changed all of her physical attributes. She was never happy. And let me tell y'all why. Let me tell y'all another thing, right? Nene was never happy. Nene, I think her lack of happiness came even stronger when she lost Greg. Because you got to realize, Greg loved her for who she was, right? He loved her for her big nose. He loved her for her brown skin. He loved her for who she was, okay? Before she became the Nene on Bravo. I think when Greg passed, she felt like she had to change who she was because she wasn't having a lot of men really checking for her like that. So I guess being in that industry and you're around young women, you're around women of all colors and all looks. It's a lot of competition in the industry. And I felt like once Nene realized her marriage was gone, she could not go back out there into the dating world. And she didn't have enough confidence, put it that way, to go back into the dating world being who she really was. She felt like because of her age, because of her looks, there's a lot of competition. So she changed everything about herself. And all of this has everything to do with when you let fame and you let the industry change who you are to fit in. Because you no longer feel valuable. You no longer feel loved. And she's finding out, even with all this work you getting done, that it's still not bringing you that much happiness. I mean, you're not fooling anybody. You know what I mean? You're posting all of these, videos, trying to prove that you are in your new pretty girl era, that you're so happy now. But the more you keep trying to front and pretend that you're happy, it's becoming more evident of how unhappy you really are. And what it is, Nene has burnt a lot of bridges, okay? She done lost a lot of friendships. She done lost a lot of business deals because once people have gotten word from Bravo, listen, when you burn your bridges with bigger networks, is very rarely do you get better offers once you burn bridges with major networks. She's still been doing shows, but it hasn't been on the level of platforms like Bravo, you know what I mean? And she's definitely not getting them Bravo checks anymore. And she's been low-key, trying to drop hints for Bravo to take her back. Talking about the fans really miss me. It's about the fans. When really, it's about you missing that damn check. And you should have been humbling yourself and apologizing or whatever you have to do to try to get back in good with Bravo. But I think Bravo washed their hands with her. Once she started showing her behind and being demanding and all of that, I think Bravo just pretty much washed their hands, because I wouldn't be surprised if Nene, with all this big talk, did not go behind closed doors and try to humble herself. But by then, damage was already done. You get what I'm saying? So, anyway, Nene looks nothing like herself. Nene thinks that doing all of this work into her body is going to give her this sense of happiness that she's really yearning, that she's really deprived of. And she's not understanding, boo, it's not the outside attributes you got to change. You got to change your way of thinking. You got to change your attitude. A lot of the work that has to be done on Nene, it's not going to be accomplished through her surgeon. She has a whole lot of internal work that has to be done. Nene does not have any confidence. I don't care how much she struts and posts all of these videos like I'm in my pretty girl era and all of that. I really don't think Nene is confident with how she looks. This is the reason she keeps going up under the knife. Her nose has gotten smaller and smaller. And this is what I think is going on, y'all. And I don't want to hear none of that. Oh, that's just her contour. That's her makeup. I ain't trying to hear none of that. This woman keeps going up under the knife, okay? She's slowly but surely going into Michael Jackson morphing, right? This is what I think is going on. Just like you have an alcoholic that's grieving, so they keep drinking more alcohol to soothe that pain. Or you have some women who become very promiscuous when they're going through pain. You know, we all turn to different devices. We all turn to different type of addictions when we are grieving. I think Nene's addiction is surgery. I still believe she has not completely healed from her loss with Greg. On top of that, I don't think she healed from the relationship not working out with her and Naomi. I also don't think she healed from Bravo letting her go, because she probably thought she was going to be there for many, many more years, only for them to cut ties with her. Nene is going through a meltdown. But what she's doing is she's not drinking. She's not using drugs. But what she's doing is she keeps going underneath that knife. You have some people who love to get tattoos. Now, I don't have any tats, but I've heard people who get a lot of tattoos. That's their way of coping with pain. I believe Nene keeps going up under the knife. She keeps going back and forth to the surgeons, because when she's alone by herself, she is struggling, trying to figure out why I can't get it right. Why, with all of the success I've had, why after the loss of my husband, I just can't seem to catch a break. I can't find true love. I can't find opportunities being presented to me just as big as it was with Bravo. I strongly believe Nene feels like she's on the losing end. She's trying to fake us out, but more importantly, she's trying to fake her own self out into believing that she's not still hurting, that she's not still struggling with healing. She needs to find her way back in tune with God. Nene has to start going back to church. If she doesn't go to church, that's fine. She needs to get spiritually back in tune with God, because that's what she's missing. Nene's ego and her attitude is the reason she ended up crashing out. Nene has burnt a lot of bridges down with her family, with Greg's kids, who never really accepted her because they felt like she played a major part in their parents' divorce. She hasn't really been there for her sons. And I know a lot of y'all may feel like, oh, well, they grown by now. She could only do but so much. Before it even got to that point, Nene jumped ship on her sons. Once she started getting in the money, once she started getting that fame and notoriety, I believe she left Bryce, and I believe she left her youngest son. I believe she left them. Once them checks started getting big, and once she lost Greg, Nene started doing her. Nene became more focused on her pain, focused on her own grieving, and I think she pretty much kind of left them to themselves. I don't think she really was paying her sons no mind. Now, granted, Her oldest, you know, he's a lost cause, but it wasn't always like that. And if y'all may not recall, on the first season, or I believe it was the second season, one of them seasons, her oldest son told her, Mom, you started changing once you got on this show. Because, see, they been around her 24/7. They know her better than we do. You get what I'm saying? So, they just started noticing the more she got into that show, the less her family became important to her. Yeah, her son Brent. Brent, by the way, who's going through a lot of medical issues, you know what I mean, with his heart surgery and all of that. Nene got a lot going on with her. And she thinks that going underneath that knife and changing her looks is going to fulfill those voids of emptiness, of pain, of loneliness. Not understanding that all of that surgery that she's doing to herself, it's only making things worse, because what happens when you go that far to change yourself and you see that you're still not getting the results of what you want, it's a double-edged sword. Like that, wow, I got all this work done, I still can't find a man to love me, I still can't get friends who really support me. She's not understanding. It's the inside that needs to change. You have to humble yourself. You have to go back and apologize. Mend those friendships that you have broken because of your ego, because of your arrogance. Go back and apologize to them women. Even if you felt like you really didn't do wrong. Sometimes it's not about what we feel is right, but it's about what God expects of us. Because if you had to always go off the merit of correcting your rights because it's right, you'll never correct it. Because you'll feel like, hell, I ain't wrong, so why I got to correct my rights? But if you're in tune with God, He will put things in your heart and let you know what you need to correct. And I think Nene jumped ship long time ago from her husband before he died, her children, and her personal family, and God. Everything that she should have valued, she did not value. Once fame, once success, once notoriety, Nene did not feel she had to humble herself. And it's coming back to haunt her in the worst way. Okay, and I'm all for a woman wanting to better themselves, wanting to look good, wanting to feel beautiful and glamorous. But with Nene, it's way more to this than what meets the eye. This woman is struggling with her self-worth. She's struggling with the decisions she made from her past. I don't think Nene has fully forgiven herself for the way she has handled things. I don't think she has forgiven others. I think Nene still blames a lot of people for all the things that have gone wrong in her life. I don't think she is one to really take accountability like that. But I say all that to say this before I get ready to shut it down. Women, nothing is wrong with changing your physical attributes. Change your hair color, change your nails, change your eating habits. All of that is wonderful. But until you start changing the internal issues within your integrity, your self-esteem, your self-worth, issues from your past, from your childhood that you have not completely humbled from, you're still doing yourself a disservice. What's in a man shall come out. Nene needs to work on fixing herself and not just her looks. Anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this. Of course, if you didn't know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be uploading content between 10 and 11 o'clock at night. Those are going to be my new show times. There's just too many content creators that are going live throughout the day, and it makes it difficult for small content creators such as myself to be able to get the videos in the algorithm. So I'm going to start doing late night content. That's Eastern Standard Pacific Time. And for those of you that are used to seeing me throughout the day, don't worry, I will leave my videos up. So if you can't catch it at night or you work at night, that's fine. You could always view the playback throughout the day. So anyway, that's basically what I have on the menu, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button before you leave. I gladly appreciate that. Also, anybody wants to donate to my audio, I am currently in process of buying another microphone. It's $200. So far I got 30. So if I have 25 more people that can submit $5, so I can actually get me a better microphone, give y'all better audio quality, that would be phenomenal. Those of you who cannot do $5, $2, $3 is just as great. I really want to get better audio sound, so my Cash App is $Diamond Girl, DYMONDGYRL. For those of you who want to support to me getting a better microphone for my content, I want to make sure that I'm giving y'all better quality sounds. I mean, the microphone I got now is cool, but I could always do better. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, anybody who wants to donate, I would appreciate that. Until then, y'all, I'll be hollering at y'all next Tuesday night. And I will be speaking with y'all soon. Y'all take care. Be blessed. Love you much. Take care.